Rivian also just deployed a software update about a week ago, which messed up the miles estimate on a full charge, which I'll get into next. First, let's talk about the positives. I can tell you that this car feels rock solid. Every time I get in it, it feels so good, so supportive. I feel safe. It's hard to describe, but it is, you definitely get what you pay for. You pay a lot to enter this thing, but the quality is all over the place. Between the wood grain, the UI, the way they've got that set up. By the way, that's one of the issues in the software update. We'll get into that really quick. That should read 259 miles, not 247 on a full charge. So I haven't opened a ticket yet, but that's kind of unfortunate. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the quality overall, you definitely feel it. It's all throughout the vehicle, and it feels very safe on-road and off-road, very capable. The storage is great, and I love the gear tunnel. This is actually really handy. You can see my fridge in there. I've got that in the back. And you could just, anything long, I don't golf, but golf clubs, whatever, you can stack that in there. You have pretty good storage back here in the trunk. We've gone camping in this thing a couple times already. And then the back is pretty decent as well. These seats flip up, just pull them up. And then you have some additional storage under there, which is nice. We've driven 6,700 miles, which is not much in 1 year. We work from home and we do this for visiting basically Irvine or camping. Those are our two main things. But we do like to go off-roading. We do like to go camping. But in between those times, we're working from home. So yeah, haven't logged a lot of miles on it. Next is definitely the UI. They have dropped updates every month, and every month you get some interesting things. Again, there can be positives and there can be negatives, but mostly it's been very positive. The way they've added the vehicle assist features when driving are awesome. The way that you're able to just quickly change the feel of the ride, or regen braking, stability control, just the features, the cameras, really incredible. HD, you can see all over your vehicle. It's helpful when you're carrying particular loads. 11 cameras in all. So I don't think you can do much better than that. The seats are really comfortable. They definitely, they feel very high quality. They're leather. Everybody that sits in the back seats as well is very comfortable. The frunk is decent. I actually think it's pretty good space. Got multi-layer shelves in here. This was the home charging kit. If you don't have a level 2 charger, it's level 1. So yeah, anyway, this in general fits some good stuff as well. Again, when you go camping, you can fit things here. What you do need to keep track of, though, is where you put stuff, because I was looking for something, couldn't find it. I had it under the shelf. Later, I realized I had that after I unpacked everything at home. That was fun. I don't have any issues driving the vehicle. My wife feels like it's a bit big for her to drive. She doesn't feel as safe. Also, the turning radius is not that great. So you have the turning radius is pretty wide versus other vehicles that we've tried, or even, of course, the Jeep. It's a different animal, but still the turning radius isn't as amazing as you would think it should be. Let's talk about those accessory plugs. That was a weakness. They had to, because I was using this, that's a standard plug, and I was using that refrigerator that it came with an adapter, right? It's nothing crazy. It's a tiny fridge and should be well within spec. And you figure if it like drew too much power, that it would like hit a reset button, you just kind of push it to reset it, and then the system comes back. Not at all what they had to do. They had to replace the inverter, which is underneath the car. You can't do it yourself. They have to do it. They had to replace an inverter and a fuse that blew, something blew. So they had to, if this were out of warranty, you definitely would have to pay for that yourself. In addition, after they did that, didn't sound like the second time they were willing to pay for that, so I don't plug it in there anymore. I've been using the cigarette lighter, and it worked on that. I did use it briefly with a cigarette lighter, and that worked, but I didn't do it long term, just did it for like a short trip. So that was kind of annoying though, to think it's so sensitive that if you plugged anything in there, and by the way, the guys that I hang out with that have the Cybertrucks, I mean, they're recharging other vehicles with their Cybertruck. Here, you think it's like a work vehicle or something, or at least it should be, and you have yourself a little plug situation right there. But again, if you plug anything crazy, it could be quite costly if it doesn't work. One of the other things we don't like necessarily is the climate control situation. It's so integrated into this screen that when you're driving, as you can imagine, you're trying to adjust something, or you're turning, like if I turn this on briefly, and you're driving, and it's kind of like you're sitting there like, is that right? Is this right? There's nothing better than just a physical knob to move it around. The other thing, if you want to adjust the temperature, it is kind of always on screen, which is kind of cool, right? That's not bad. But again, it's the same thing. It's like you can push it, you want to turn it off, you click and you hold, and if you want to go up or down, you can do that. I don't know. Or then you're like, oh, is it the back seat, the front seat? You end up bouncing around the menus, and I think that's some of the things where people just get tired of the UI just kind of taking too much over. That I really hope that on the next iteration of even the R1, that they put that back to physical buttons. It's just, yeah, it looks all polished and interesting, but they kind of if you take too much of the driving experience or the experience of making it harder to be in the vehicle, it becomes not fun anymore. So we'll be driving on the road, and I'm like, half the time, like, it's not quite blowing in the right area, and if you can feel the wind blowing, you know how to tune that in. But in this case, you're like, oh, you don't even bother going to the menu, and it's got these presets as well, and I'm like, I don't want to have to preset the way the wind is blowing on me. It's just annoying. So just don't do that on the next one, please. There's your presets. But yeah, hey, it's super gadgety and kind of cool from that perspective. I can appreciate it, but it's just too much. And it would bring the cost down. So that's kind of nice too. You just don't need, not everything has to have a motor. You can imagine the motor, the software, all the infrastructure just to do that, how much more that is. And you could actually make the car more affordable. Nothing's ever broken on it related, so the props there, but it's just really frustrating to have to mess with that thing all the time. The latest sound system, the Rivian high-end sound system that 2025 comes with, is not the best. Like it even between services. So if you go between, say, they've got Apple CarPlay, Apple Music is actually, I think, the strongest one. It has the strongest sound quality, but it just varies so much between whether you're streaming on Amazon or you're doing some other service. I just find that it has all these speakers, but you're not really feeling the richness that you would expect for such an expensive add-on. The other frustrating thing, and this with any kind of startup EV company or any startup company, I guess, where you need service, there are only so many service centers when you're brand new like that, and that makes sense, right? But it is kind of annoying because most of the time, there's only been once that they've done a remote or a mobile service where they came to our house to work on it. But all the other times I've had to go in there and, they'll give you a rental car, which is great. And it is kind of fun to choose different vehicles that I enjoyed, but that's not the point. You still have to, it is annoying to have to go do that. But just keep that in mind when you're getting a vehicle from a new manufacturer. You won't necessarily have it next door to where you live. Just something to consider. Now let's get into cost of ownership. That's a fun discussion. When I got into it, it wasn't necessarily to save on gas money or whatever. I'm glad it's helping the planet, but wow, it's bright out here. But I can tell you, It's definitely expensive. There's my dog. She's trying to get a rabbit. Leave the rabbits alone. The insurance for us, annual car registration, you add all that up. I did it for the experience and I was curious about it, and I was hoping it helped other people kind of figure out what they wanted to do. But now, drum roll. Kobe, would you keep this thing if you had the chance, or am I going to keep it after the 2-year lease is up? And the answer to that is, so do follow along. We'll be going on some more adventuring. We'll even take this one here with us, right, River? Yeah, your name is River, like Rivian. What do you think? What do you think, River? What is it? She doesn't know her personal space. She's telling me something. What is it, Lassie? So that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all take care. We'll see you. Say goodbye, River.